What is going on, everybody? And you could probably tell where this video is headed. So, here's a warning. If you're watching this video and you happen to be an SJW, an Anita Sarkeesian fan, or anything that is related to those two things, you might want to turn the video off right now, because I'm about to tear all of you and people like you a new one. Because after reading this article, I felt the urge to want to do it again, because I haven't done it in a while. So, let's get right into this, and you've been warned. I've been gaming for over 25 years. And I've played many different games that starred many different characters of different genders, different races, different cultures, different personalities. I've played all different types of video games in my 25 plus years of gaming. So apparently this is news to me that according to these SJWs, apparently gaming has only catered to one audience. Straight white men. Now, I'm a straight white man, and I've played many different games that were clearly catered to different groups other than myself. But no, apparently every single game that has ever been created, according to these SJWs, has only catered to straight white men. So, if you're watching this video and you're not a straight white man, then apparently none of these developers or companies have ever had you in mind when creating their products. Oh my god, the stupidity of that, it just melts my brain. It just does. I don't know how anybody can have this mindset. And what's shocking enough is that this is coming from someone who apparently used to be, according to this article, an editor at GameSpot, one of the biggest gaming websites on the internet. And this was the editor, and they've had this mindset. And apparently, if this was such a big deal, if this was such a huge deal, how come nobody has really mentioned this or anything like this until 2012, when Anita Sarkeesian first showed up? Before she showed up, nobody talked about this stuff. Nobody. And we can actually prove this by looking it up, because this person was apparently an editor at GameSpot. So you can go back and look at stuff that was written on that website years back. You probably won't find anything that is like this. And what's funny here is that if you read the article here, it talks about that there's parts of the gaming industry that she thinks need improvement. And no, it's not the horrible business practices with DLC or broken games or people having bad reviews and paid off reviews. No, the problem with gaming apparently is that it's inclusive and it's only catering to straight white men. When has there ever been a time when gaming was inclusive to just one specific audience? There's never, ever been a time where gaming has been inclusive. Anybody and everybody can pick up a controller and play a video game. It has been like that since day freaking one. That has not changed at all. And I can continuously rant on that, but I don't want this video to go longer than it's going to, so let's just move on to this article. And it's funny, when I hear these SJWs talk about games, it's clear to me that they've never played these games, because the examples they use end up making themselves look worse than they already do. And the game examples that were picked in this article really shows that. So let's look at these games that they picked. They picked Uncharted 4, The Witcher, and The Last of Us as games that apparently only catered to straight white men and that starred handsome white men. You're probably facepalming right now. You probably are. Because if any of you have played these 3 specific games, you'll know that there's more to those games than just the person that's on the cover of the game. So let's go over the games. Let's start with Uncharted 4. Yes, it stars Nathan Drake, who is a handsome white man. But guess who's also in the Uncharted series? There's 2 characters that are also in the Uncharted series that are on your side that are strong female characters. There's Elena, who in Uncharted 4 really showed how much of a strong female character she could be. And then in Uncharted 2 and 3, you had Chloe. And we can go back to Uncharted 4. Who's one of the enemies of the game? Nadine, who routinely, during that game, kicked Nathan Drake's ass. And even him and his brother had a hard time taking her. You can't make a stronger female character than that can easily hand Nathan Drake and his brother his ass. You just can't really make him stronger than that. And then Uncharted 3, the main villain was... It was a woman, and her name escapes me. Marlo. That's her name. Marlo. She was the main villain. That's not a strong female character? Commanding a bunch of guys? A bunch of mercenaries? That seems strong to me. Oh my god. It's clear to me that these SJWs have never played Uncharted. They have never played Uncharted. And they haven't played these other games as well. So let's continue. Let's talk about The Witcher. Yes, the main star of The Witcher is Geralt, who is a white man. He's also a mutant too, but that's beside the point. So who's also in the Witcher series? There's Triss Merigold, who's a sorceress, and she's a pretty strong female character. And there's actually a video on my channel of a cutscene in The Witcher 3 where she tortures this spy. She doesn't seem like a helpless damsel in distress female right there. But let's not just stop there. Let's not stop there. There's also Yennefer, who is another strong female character. And last, but certainly not least, is Siri from The Witcher 3, who's a female witcher, who beats the crap out of a lot of people in the game. A lot of guys. That's not a strong female character? Oh, but wait. I guess they're not on the cover. They're not on the cover, so I guess they don't count, right? Right, SJWs? They don't count since they're not on the cover of the game? Which, once again, goes to show that none of you who believe that have played that game. But since we're talking about covers, let's move on to the third example, The Last of Us. Yes, the majority of the game you're playing as Joel, who's a white man. But who's the real main character of The Last of Us? Here's a hint. She's also on the cover of the damn game. It's Ellie. And not only is she a strong female character, she's also a lesbian. So you have a strong female lesbian in the game. And not only that, there's a whole DLC that's just literally catered to just her backstory. Once again, these people have never played these games. Otherwise, why the hell would they believe this garbage? It's just amazing. It's just amazing. And I could just rant about this all freaking day and just shoot down all these SJW examples. But we're going to end it here, and we're going to talk about the last example that the article brings up, and it's Overwatch. Because if you all remember, Overwatch, there was that controversy about that one character showing her butt. Because, yeah, apparently, according to these SJWs, you can't show female butt whatsoever. Some of them have even called it anime butts. And I remember this one guy who's in the gaming industry actually said on Twitter that there would be less rapes if there were less anime butts in gaming. Just process that. Just process that through your mind. It's insane. It's just freaking insane. These SJWs are just insane. And you know, I've always wondered, when these people talk about female character butts, I wonder, do any of these people ever go to public beaches? Do they ever go to public pools where there are women in bathing suits, in bikinis, in thongs? Actually in real life, in public? I wonder why none of these people are complaining about that. If it's such a big deal in video games, I guess it would be a big deal in real life. Would it? But yet none of you are talking about that. Oh my god. I'm going to end it here because I'm just going to continue to rant and rant and rant. And maybe you guys like that. And if you do, cool, but I just can't do it for so long before my brain just starts to go numb. So I'm just going to end it with this. When I see these SJWs, it's really hard for me to differentiate between them, and then you look at the racists at the Donald Trump rallies. It's really hard to differentiate between the two groups. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of slightly respect these racists a lot more than these SJWs. Because at least some of these racists, at least they're out front and open about their bigotry. Whereas you have these SJWs who hide their bigotry. And that's what this is. Because they just seemingly hate straight white men and do everything in their power to denigrate straight white men. And it's almost like that you should be ashamed to be a straight white man. I'm sorry, but that's the definition of bigotry. And these SJWs, they claim they're about social justice and that they're fighting for everyone, when in reality, they only give a shit about themselves and what they want, and they don't give a fuck about anyone else, and that's the goddamn truth. So, that is it. Please let me know your thoughts, and until next time, have a good one.